into the woke agenda, all of the corporations pulling out of the woke nonsense, because America is fully awake and not woke.
You may never find a more perfect encapsulation of how MAGA views the world. They're living in a world completely detached from reality, where words mean nothing, and the only thing that matters is keeping the base angry at anything but the ruling class.
The enemy attempted to defeat God's plan by setting literal sights on Donald J. Trump. God laid it out long ago that the just must live by faith. And if we are going to live by faith, we have to know there is going to be a battle. And in this room, there are men and women who are prepared for that battle. But also remember, this fight of faith, it's a good fight. A fight that has already been won from us when Jesus hung on the cross and said, "It is finished."
Wielding religion as a weapon and framing the issues plaguing our country as a spiritual fight between good and evil has been a go-to strategy for conservatives for decades to keep their base of support blind from the real perpetrators of their misery, the ultra-rich and the politicians they bribe to keep the racket going. It's hard to put into words how frustrating it is for a goof like Lauren Boebert to have real political power, but comedian Brent Terhune has a few words to share.
And hey, just a quick break in the action. You should go subscribe to my new show, The Rick Strom Show. I'm going to be interviewing people from sports, music, journalists, authors, sports doctors. It's going to be fantastic. Please go subscribe. Thank you.
Lauren, I just think you're the most beautiful woman in the world. And I know you know that Beetlejuice 2 is coming out this week, and it would just be an honor if I could take you on a date to Beetlejuice 2. And I've taken care of everything. I've got the tickets. You can call me Eddie Money because I got 2 tickets to Paradise, the good seats with the recliners. I stopped at Dollar Tree to get some supplies. I got some pop.
Just imagine the impact and notoriety a comedy bit like this would have if a Democratic congressperson posted it instead of a comedian. We saw how effective Tim Walz's weird strategy worked in galvanizing the base and bringing attention to the double standards of the Republicans. But as you know, the DNC couldn't stand insulting them. And the same corporate and wealthy donors that fund the Republicans refusing to meet them where they always want to fight.
And I know you like to vape, and I don't know what kind you liked, but I got you a couple different ones. This one is blueberry and ivermectin, and this one is biscuits and gravy and ivermectin.
If you don't already, please follow and support Brent Terhune's work because he has the smoke for the Republican Party that we need to see a lot more of if we want to dig ourselves out of the hole our country is currently in.
That's not it. Somebody said this is that looks like the cool kids table, and I say it looks like guys who would definitely support the purge table, all 6 of them. And I said 6, and that's because J.D. Vance is in this photo. They just made him sleep in the overhead compartment. They didn't even give Mike Johnson a chair. He just got a little dog bed right there in the aisle. I know an unkissed ass hates to see Mike Johnson coming.
Terhune could not be more correct about Vance and Johnson. Though they're committed to the MAGA movement and the disastrous policies that come along with it, they're much more committed to furthering their own careers and exploiting the benefits that come along with being morally bankrupt sellouts.
This whole table looks like they tip $100 bills, but when you get closer, it's those fake bills with Bible verses on it. Shout out to Mike for that as well. It's hard to tell, but Elon Musk is actually wearing a shirt that says Occupy Mars, which is exactly what Donald Trump hopes for anytime Elon is around. Occupy any space but mine. Go be awkward somewhere else.
It's going to be equally terrifying and fascinating to see how Elon Musk's shadow presidency plays out in the coming months, because if there's anything we know about Trump, it's that he's absurdly insecure and his ego and public facade take precedence over everything else. And the more Elon meddles in Trump's presidency, more of Trump's insecurities will rise. We're already seeing reports that their relationship is straining, but you're delusional if you didn't expect something like this to happen. Handing over the keys to our country to an equally, and in some cases even more, insecure narcissist like Musk, after promising a return on his investment in Trump's campaign, was bound to bring up a power struggle at some point. So that was either a part of the original deal, per se, a gross miscalculation on behalf of Trump's campaign, or some combo of both.
Don Jr., Bobby Jr. and Elon sitting there wishing somebody loved him enough to make him a junior. And then the man of the photo, RFK Jr., making America healthy again. And based on the look on his face, eating what I can only assume is an unhappy meal. And you know, in movies, when an undercover cop tries to get in with the drug dealer and then the dealer's like, you gotta hit this to prove you're one of us. That's exactly what our Orange King was doing to Bobby Jr. Eat the Big Mac, Bobby. Show you one of us. Bobby Jr. took this picture like, no, it's not me. The brainworms, they require sustenance. Bobby Jr. actually came out later and said, look, I know doing things like this makes me look like a hypocrite, but I just wanted to fit in with the rest of the guys at the table.
Fitting in with the guys at the table goes far beyond this nightmare of a photo, because the same attitude perfectly represents the political culture of our country. Far too many elected officials. Governing isn't about serving the people who voted you into office and working on their behalf to improve their lives, but rather a career opportunity to not only enrich yourself, but obtain power and influence by cozying up to the donors, corporations, lobbyists, party operatives, business moguls, and anyone else who could help you later down the line. Just look at the revolving door between Congress, lobbying firms, legacy media outlets, think tanks, and massive corporations to see the connections plain as day. Going back as far as 1998, Open Secrets has tracked and reported on former government employees, from entry-level bureaucrats and congressional staffers to top agency officials and former members of Congress, who have left the government to work for lobbying firms fighting for the interests of specific corporations and industries, calling them revolvers. As you can see, the connections run deep and are pervasive in every business industry. That's what fitting in with the guys at the table is really all about. Trying to break your way into the exclusive club of people who protect that club with their lives. Even though RFK Jr. is already a part of that club, that doesn't mean he doesn't want as much power and influence as possible, just like Musk, Bezos, and the other oligarchs kissing Trump's ring.
If you can and are willing, please become a paid member here at TYT Sports. And or go to tyt.com/join. In addition, you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Appreciate it. Have a great day.